One time I just muted and then I didn't hit record. And like halfway through the call, Chris was like, I don't think you're recording. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely not recording. Um, so, anyway, guys, week 9 of Fast Track to Executive. And I am fired up. And it's funny because I promised myself at the very beginning of this fast track that I was going to do things differently than all the other ones that I had done. And one of them was that like we weren't doing homework and we weren't, like monitoring attendance and things like that. And I also was a focus that I was never going to get frustrated on who wasn't on the call, but I was actually just going to be more excited about who was, and knowing that those are people that get my attention. That's who I'm seeing, of just burning desire and commitment, because you're making the sacrifice because you want a different way of life. You're making the sacrifice because you want something amazing. And so I just want to celebrate all of you guys that are on here. I know that it is late on the East Coast. I know some of you are in the middle of dinner, and just that week after week that you've stayed committed, huge testament to you. And I promise it'll all show up in your business. So that was the first thing I just wanted to do, is really celebrate and acknowledge all of you guys. But tonight, the first thing that we were talking about, if you guys remember this fast track, each week we're doing a core value in addition to the training. And the core value this week is transformation. And the verbiage from the website, from the Isagenix website, if you guys don't know about this, this is cool, but you can just Google Isagenix core values and it will take you to the page where all 12 values are. But then if you click on each one, it's their verbiage. So that's, where Jen and Adam have got information on where purpose was, or, where innovation is, or where gratitude is. But this week it's transformation. And according to the Isagenix website, it says, by embracing and expanding our perspective, we can cultivate the best version of ourselves. At Isagenix, we understand that we are all on a journey of individual growth, and that growth is a continuous work in progress. We believe in supporting individuals and unlocking their full potential. So it's just powerful. And I was thinking the other day, like, how cool would it be in an Instagram story? Kisa might do this by like tonight, because if she likes the idea, she's so fast at this. But even just to do like 12 slides of all of our different core values, taking this and just getting people excited about, like, who is Isagenix? Like, a lot of companies aren't branding themselves that they're innovative, that they believe in transformation, that they believe in legacy or contribution or family. And just understanding that, because that's one of the things that makes us so different and so dynamic. So when I think about transformation and why that's a core value, you guys, just dropped my phone. Why I think it's a core value. Well, let's think about the products, right? Like, most of us are here because you had some type of physical transformation. Maybe you lost baby weight. Maybe you gained more energy. Maybe you got 6-pack abs. Maybe you got stronger in the gym. Maybe your pants got too big, they fell off of you. I mean, there was some type of transformation. Sometimes it might be mood, it might be energy, but something happened that other people noticed, that other people were like, hello, Sherry, tell me what you're doing, right? They were like, Laura, you didn't look like that last month. Like, tell me what you're doing. That's part of it. But you guys, one of the things that I also love about this is that we transform people's bank accounts. And a lot of people will say that our wealth creation opportunity is our biggest pillar. It's just as important as everything else. But when you see someone transform their life, that they were paycheck to paycheck, that they were buried in debt, that they had so many sleepless nights hoping that the deposit went in before the deposit went out. I mean, that was me. That's a transformation when that person can volunteer their time, when they can tithe, when they can give money back. I mean, that's a transformation when they have sleepless or sleepful nights because they're not worried about the finances, right? Like, that's a transformation. And my absolute favorite transformation, and the easiest way to sum this up, and it comes from Eric Coover, is that Isagenix brings out the best in you. And I remember the very first time I met him, and I was drilling him on the products, and I was drilling him on the comp plan, and I was this know-it-all, bullheaded, pain-in-the-butt nutritionist. And I was just asking so many questions, and he was like, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And he's like, just put it in your body, brings out the best in people. And I was like, and he said it with such conviction and such charisma and such pizzazz that I was like, I don't fail, right? Anyone knows me, like, I'm not a failure, I'm not a quitter. That I was like, I had to check my ego out the door, because I was like, okay, I'll put these products in my body and I'll tell you that I did not see the best version of me. And the opposite happened, you guys. And when I look at myself, Laura was actually here last week and she was teasing me lovingly to some friends when we were out, but just, she's been with me the journey and what I was like 5 years ago, and I was just crass, or, I was competitive to a fault, not in a good way, or not sympathetic or not empathetic, or whatever that may be. Look, Laura turned on her camera just to laugh at me, but, and whatever that may be. and you will change. You will absolutely change. And that's part of the transformation, is caring more about somebody else than yourself. Like, that's a weird thing to think about, but it starts to happen. Your transformation is not just physical and it's not just financial. It's about gratitude. When you hear people say attitude of gratitude, what percentage of the population is waking up that way? Like, who talks like that, you know? And that's the stuff that I want to drink this Kool-Aid all day long and have other people do it, because we know how to, you know, bring out our Taylor Swift and shake it off and just keep going. And that's a huge part of the transformation as well. So just kind of think about that. And as you're doing your reach outs and your connections tonight and tomorrow and the next couple days, outside of this undenatured grass-fed protein, right? Or outside of getting your products paid for, think about your transformation and use that as a part of your story. You know, just like Jen and Adam so perfectly trained on how to share your story last week, plug it into that. You know, what were you feeling before? What was your background? What was, you know, keeping you and holding you back from all the things you wanted? And what part of your transformation has gotten you excited about this, has changed physically, has changed financially, has changed emotionally? And that's what's so, so, so powerful. I think when you're talking to other people. So that being said, I'm going to make this a little bit interactive. If you guys want to unmute at some point, you can, but otherwise I can see your hands, and most of you actually have your camera on, which I'm kind of excited about. But who has ever gotten paid by Isagenix and had no idea why they got paid or how much that was there, and trying to calculate where that came from? So it's like the majority of people, right? Like, I think when Laura was with me last week, we had 3 different people that we were talking through, because we get paid on Mondays, either that Monday or Tuesday, explaining to them how they get paid. And it's a better problem to have than like, hey, you said I was going to make this money and I didn't have it, you know, but most people are like, I don't even know what I did. And for a lot of people, they create accidental income. And so then they want to share. But it's so important that you understand how you're getting paid, not only because you are building a business, and just like in a job, you would know how many hours you worked and how much your check should be. You cannot create a business builder if you don't know our compensation plan. Like, you've got to be able to show them how to make money. And you guys, our cycles, which is our residual income, is one way we get paid. PIBs is one way we get paid. Leadership pools is one way we get paid. Double, you know, PIBs is one way we get paid. Rank advancement bonuses, one way we get paid. There's so many different ways. And so instead of trying to show someone how to get to executive 1-star necessarily as the only path to success, I'll ask someone like, Marla, how much do you need to make a week? What do you need to make a month to make this worth your time? And then whatever number she throws out, if she says, I need to make $1,200 a month, or I need to make $380 a week, or whatever it is, you know, if you prospect a Lyft driver, you prospect an Uber driver, you're saying, how many hours a week are you driving to make this? With conviction, you've got to be able to show them all those different ways that you can replace that $380 a week. You can get them to $1,200 a month, right? So Danielle, who's on this call, she's just been impressing me so much the last few weeks. And I'm working a little bit more closely with her, but I texted her today and I said, do you know how much you made last week? So I wanted to do a post about her, and it was so cute, but she said, no. And I was like, okay, awesome. And then I started asking some questions because she's not my personally enrolled, so I don't necessarily see that. And I said, what about last week? And we were going through it because I wanted to accurately do it. You know, I didn't want to say she made 2,000 if she made 200, but I also didn't want to just look at her cycles, say, oh, she had a $250 week. And she's like, no, I think I actually had a lot more. So we had to go through and like how much she made from the consultant she created, what was in cycles, what was in her PIBs, what was in her double PIBs, which is how we figured out that, you know, she's made hundreds and hundreds in the last couple weeks. But so it's just kind of important for you guys to really know that. And that's why I get so passionate about this, because my brain was so accustomed to exchanging time for money. And a lot of people that come to Isagenix, you guys, until they get into big picture, are going to be that way. You know, someone knows how much they make at an average bartending shift. Someone knows how much they make as a massage therapist. People know how much they make if they drive for Lyft. They know what they make to teach group fitness, or if they have a personal training client, or whatever that may be. And so the quicker you can find out how much do you need to make with this, and then map it out for them, whether that's the 5-cycle bonus, whether that's PIBs, whether that's hitting Crystal Manager, whether that's selling 2 value packs, the better. And so before I do a screen share and I show you some documents, if you guys have not downloaded and printed these documents, I mean, they are in the IsaLife Success Manual, so you should just print out that whole thing and they're in there. But sometimes that's overwhelming. And so I'm going to guide you into like 3 documents that you can just Google. They will direct you to isagenixbusiness.com, but just Google them. and then print them. The first one is our PIBS sheet. So if you Google Isagenix double PIBS or Isagenix PIBS product introductory bonuses, it will take you to a PDF, and that shows you the one-time bonus, the referral rebate from our qualifying packs. So that's why people who are experts at this, like Rachel or Chris Marshall, they know that the premium pack is a $50 PIB. They know the value pack is a $100 PIB. They know the business builder pack or the ultimate pack is a $150 PIB. They know that the 30-day is a $25 PIB. They know that right off the bat. They know that 2 or more qualifying packs, even if it's not the same pack, double. So a value pack and a 30-day, they both double. The 25 goes to 50, the 100 goes to 200. So when someone like Gita says, okay, I need to make $500 this week, okay, it might take a while for her to hit Crystal Manager, which is what I'm going to show you tonight in the You Share, They Share, which is, $450 to $900, roughly in that range. But I could show her how to get 3 customers started. I could show her how to get 2 value packs and a premier pack, and we would still get to that $500. So understanding this is so important, you guys, not only because you can set your own goals and get yourself paid, but it really is that our compensation plan, we're rewarded for making other people successful. Not other businesses are like that, you guys. There are businesses that actually inhibit leadership development because if they get to be so successful, they break away, that then you're not paid on that organization anymore, that people don't want to develop their teams. We're not like that. Like our compensation is not like that at all. And so the quicker you get people paid, the higher the retention and the faster the duplication. Does that make sense? Okay. If there's any questions, I'm looking, Andrew's saying it's the simplest and most lucrative. I totally agree. So I'm reading the chat. If there's questions that, come in or whatever, just message in there. But I am going to do the share screen. I'm going to show you quite a few things, hopefully. Okay. So the first one I want to show you, are you guys looking at the Become an Isagenix Consultant thing? Can someone give me like a heads up or thumbs up that you see it? Mary Ellen, Jen, Jackie, do you guys see this becoming where it says the You Share, They Share? It's like white with circles.
So far we just see like now we see it. There it is.
So you got it? It's there?
Yep.
So it's just a little bit of a delay. Okay. So you guys are seeing it. Yeah? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I just want to make sure, because sometimes it's like you're off talking to yourself and then people are like, I have no idea what you're doing. So this is what I love to draw out to people or use without memorizing the numbers. So for some of you guys in the very beginning, and you're like, oh my gosh, like what's the PIB on a 30-day or what's the PIB on a value pack? And you kind of get lost in the individual numbers. This is the most simple way of just looking at You Share, They Share. And it's you plus 2, them plus 2, over and 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 over again, right? And so you are finding, and when you, sorry, I'm trying to see where you guys are to look at you. So when you're talking to someone, you're drawing this out, it's you and then 2 people, right? And then there are 2 people. This gets so much more impactful when you actually associate names to that. Okay, so if you're just, if you know 2 people and they know 2 people, no one does it because they're not really thinking about it. There's no activation of thought process, and there's going to be no landing around that. They're not really attaching a story or memory to it. So Katie, can I unmute you for a second and get you to play along with me for a second? She's like, okay. Well, maybe I'm going to try. Will you try to unmute yourself? It's not letting me on my end.
There we go.
Okay, awesome. So you guys, I want you to feel free to draw this out at the same time as I'm talking, because this is exactly what I do when I'm in person with someone. This is exactly what I do when I'm on the phone. So Katie, I am so excited that you just jumped in with your value pack. I know you're going to love it. I mean, not only are you getting your 30-day reset, you've got the snacking options, you've got the fountain of youth vitamins, like everything about this system is going to set you up for success. And one of the things I'm so passionate about is showing people how to get their products paid for, showing people how to literally get on the Eat for Free program. Is that cool?
That's great. Let's go for it.
Awesome. So our company slogan is something called You Share, They Share. And we basically want to pay this forward over and over and over again. So the first thing we want to do is get you 2 accountability partners. I want to help you find 2 friends. So either maybe 2 people you've done another program with, maybe you tried Whole30 or Paleo with, or 2 people you go to the gym with, or 2 people that have got, the same holiday party coming up as you, but just like, who are 2 people that you think are ready for a reset?
Let's say my friend Kristen and my friend Heather.
Kristen and Heather. Okay, so at the very top, write your name, and I want you to write $5.89, which is the cost of the value pack, and then draw a line to the left and a line to the right, just kind of like pegs off a stool. And then I want you to write Heather, and I want you to write Kristen.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so assuming that you guys, someone told me I'm freezing. Am I freezing, or can you guys hear me okay? Okay, I have a couple in there. I just want to make sure. Okay, so we've got Heather and Kristen. So let's just assume that they do the same system as you, because usually people do what you do. So they're going to be like, well, Katie, what pack did you choose, or what did you get started on? And we're going to talk to them about how amazing the vitamins are, how amazing the greens are, why this is the best value. So assuming Heather and Kristen both came in with the value pack, you are going to get $100 bonus for each of them. Isagenix gives you $100, what we call PIB, product introductory bonus, but I think of it as a referral rebate. Isagenix is just saying, thank you for finding your accountability partners. Here's a little reward. So you're going to get $100 for each of them, and just feel free to write that on top of their names. Now, if you were to do 2 in the same week, those bonuses double. So instead of getting $100 for Kristen and $100 for, was it Natasha? Natalie, what was her name?
Heather.
Heather. Heather. I usually will try and write it down if I'm on the phone, because that will happen. Make sure you're paying attention. So we have Heather and Kristen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so 100 for Kristen, 100 for Heather. It's going to double. So then cross that out and write 200 above both of them.
Okay.
Plus, whenever you find your first 2 people, Isagenix is going to give you an additional $50 bonus. That's a leadership bonus. I'm going to save you the isolatin, but just know they're giving you more money just for finding 2 people. So if you were to grab your first 2 accountability partners in the same week, so those bonuses double, you're already at $450, like more than 2/3 of your pack completely paid for, just for helping your friends get healthy. How awesome is that?
Pretty good.
Okay, so now here's what's super fun. If, Heather or Kristen had found out that you got that money back, do you think they would want to get their products paid for?
It makes total sense that they would want to, yeah.
Okay, and do you think they know 2 people that maybe want to get healthy, or 2 people that have health goals, or 2 people that, want to lose weight, or 2 people that want to make a little extra money? Like, do you think they know 2 people?
Absolutely.
Okay, so just entertain me for a second. Who would be 2 people that you think Kristen would share with? Like, just off the top of your head. I'm sure you know her pretty well.
Okay. She would share with Allie, and she would share with the other Heather.
Okay, all right. So she's going to find Allie and Heather. So just like you kind of wrote those names like pegs off a stool, do the same for her.
Okay.
And then your other girlfriend, she probably has 2 friends. She does 2 family members, right? Like, who are 2 people that you think she would refer?
She would do Tina, and she would do probably Kayla.
Awesome. So write those names below her as well.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming they came in with the value pack, assuming that they did the same system you did, both of those girls would earn the same $450 that you did. But here's the cool thing. The beginning where you got your $450, what was called you share, because you shared with people. But now when you helped them share, that they share, maybe you shared with them how to post on social media, how to put a power post up. Maybe you taught them how to do an ATM. Maybe you taught them how to add people to our preview page. Maybe you shared with them how they could invite people to your healthy holiday party in a couple weeks, right? As a result of working with them and duplicating, Isagenix is going to give you $100 each time one of your personally enrolled sponsors finds their 2 people. So you're going to get $100 for Kristen and $100 for Natalie.
Okay.
So in addition to your $450, now you're at $650, because you got an additional $100 for both of them finding their 2.
Mm-hmm.
And if you did this within 60 days, so you've got 2 months to find 2 people that know 2 people, you would get an additional $250 for a grand total of $900. So not only your products are paid for, but you're also going to have next month's totally paid for. Okay, so here's the thing, you guys. When you're doing the you share, they share, I think it's really important to bring in some realistic things. So part of that can be getting their real names, right? Even asking, well, why do you think Tina and Kristen would do it? Or why do you, and she'd say, oh, because we've all go to the same CrossFit gym, or oh, because we all have done the Tough Mudder together. You're gonna find out kind of that relationship or camaraderie. It's also, I could stop and say, if you got $450 back right now, when you were expecting to pay for your product in full, what would you do with it? Like, how would that money help you? Like, asking them to say it. But in the very beginning, a lot of you are great at taking the order. You know, asking, do you want chocolate or vanilla? Do you want powder or liquid? Am I shipping it here? What type of credit card do you have? But you get hung up on this. And at the very end of the order, you guys, even before they've gotten their box, there's a couple ways to bring it up. One of them would be to say, you know what, I know that you're just interested in our reset right now, but I have an obligation to show you something. Can I just borrow 2 more minutes of your time to walk you through this? Okay, that's one way to do it. The second, which is actually something that I do more often these days, is to say, here's the deal. In a week to 2, you're going to be a completely different person. You're going to be a walking billboard. And I just want to know right now how we're going to handle the referrals. If you would love to earn some supplemental income, about $500 to $1,000 extra a month, let's spend about 5 minutes right now where I can show you how to get your products paid for and some. Or if you're more comfortable just referring them to me, because this is what I do full time, I'll take great care of them. What do you think's best for you? And inevitably, when they start to refer, I will still always put them underneath that person. It builds belief, it builds retention. Danielle just did this with a girl, Shar. She did not take the enrollees and she put them underneath her. And now that girl's like, oh my gosh, I just made this money. Like, it's worth it to give them back. But what you're doing is you're setting them up to be referring. You're setting them up that it's normal, that that's what people do. And you're talking about the fact that there's money behind it. And because there's another way that they're not selling it, you've done that, you create a forum that it's natural for them to introduce you to somebody else. That when all of a sudden Geeta's having these great results and Holly at work is like, what are you doing? She goes, I don't know. The girl that got me started said just to send you to her. And she can be like, Holly, call Lauren, or Lauren, here, meet Holly. And of course I would put Holly back under Geeta. That's the referral. But you're setting up these new people that they don't have to know everything, and it's normal to refer. So Kristen is asking me how I would talk to someone about our comp plan when they're not on their product yet. In other words, not enrolled, but they're asking questions, wondering how our comp plan works. Kristen, I'm going to keep going here for just a second, just in the flow, but I will come back to this when I'm kind of done with just the overall training. And if for some reason I don't, just like ping me again, just be like, hey, don't forget to answer my questions, because that's really good, but that's more of a connecting question and prospecting question. So I want to just stay in the training tonight of you share, they share, and the rank advancement bonuses, but I am going to answer it because it's great. I just want to come back to it. Sound good? Hopefully I can't see you, so hopefully you're fine with that. Okay, so I'm going to do another share screen for you guys. Not that one though. Okay, so Danielle or Katie, can you tell me if you can see that slide? You can, Danielle? So it's showing Crystal Manager? I wonder why some of you are getting it, some of you are not. Can anybody else type in the chat and let me know if you see the Crystal Manager slide? Okay, Holly sees it. Okay, most people see it. So here's what I basically just walked you guys through. And you guys can take a screenshot of this. You can also Google you share, they share, you know, and find the PDF of it, or on Isogenix Business, it's there. There's a great video, but this maps out Crystal Manager. So it literally shows exactly what we walked through. It would show Katie at the top, you know, her bringing in her first 2 friends, where she got that $100 bonus. Then how it doubles, so it went to 200 because she had 2 or more in the same week. How she got her $50 bonus for going consultant. Then the day share, that those who will help find their 2, an additional $100 each time she does that, plus the $250 Crystal Manager bonus for doing that within 60 days. That's that 900 total. Most of you guys still struggle following this. It's like, which is the PIB? What's the double? What's the consultant bonus? Learn this, master it, learn it, master it. Like, I cannot encourage you enough to get so clear with this that you can draw this out for anybody at any given moment in less than 5 minutes. Literally, people that have been with me, they've seen me draw it on a napkin at a restaurant. Like, you've got to be able to know this inside and out, upside down, say it backwards if you had to. So watch the You Share, They Share video. I mean, Google Isagenix You Share, They Share. Listen to other leaders. Grab verbiage that just kind of sounds like you, that might be a little bit more authentic than my own. But learn how to do this, how to show someone coming in, finding their 2 people and finding their 2 people with the value pack or the premier pack. I mean, those are the 2 things that we should both be leading with. The numbers are going to be slightly different, obviously, because the PIB is going to be 50 instead of 100. But the faster that you can really, really show people how to do this, the faster your business is going to grow. So not only understanding it, if I walk you through it, or if Jen or Laura or Kisa walk you through it, but that you could teach it. So practice. And you guys, and here's another great way that you can build your business is call some close friends or family and just say, hey, I'm really trying to learn the compensation plan right now of my business. Can I practice on you? Can I just practice, because I want to be flawless by the time I actually show this to somebody. Imagine your friends and family seeing how fast they could earn $900, right? They're gonna be like, oh my gosh, like, your home-based business is no joke. So I would encourage you guys, practice on your kids, practice on your spouse, practice on your friends and family, but get so good at this, because this is like the game changer of selling products and building a business. This is where it all starts, because we just do this over and over and over. Does that make sense? Any questions right now? It's hard to see you guys when I have the screen up, so I'm like clicking on the bottom to make sure I'm not losing you guys. Okay, so I'm switching the slides. Kristen, a little bit back to your question, but then I'll come back to it a little bit more. If you guys have never watched the webinar, fasttracktoexecutive.com, it's FASTTRACKTUEXEC, fasttracktoexec.com. It's 10 minutes. Watch it, learn it, and then send it to people. So when people are asking Kristen about our compensation plan, I will say something like, here's the deal. We have the most generous compensation plan. We've got short-term bonuses, and we've got incredible long-term residual income. Are you more interested in learning how to set your family free within the next 5 to 10 years? Or are you more interested in how to make, a few hundred to up to $50,000 in bonuses in the next 6 months, right? First of all, find out what they're looking for. So if they're looking for the long-term income, they're more on the slow and steady, this is the 10-year plan, they understand the compound effect, I would send them something that has to do with the cycles, something that has to do with the residual income, not so much the bonuses. And that would be like the truth about the compensation plan from Jim Coover. Hillary Courtney has a completely updated compensation plan video that gets into the cycles. Lynn Hagedorn, the one that she just did at Celebration, and where it shows even when you max out at, the 17,500 a week, or 27,000, I'm sorry, and how you go into your reentry in the Platinum Center. I would send something like that. If someone needs short-term money, they're like, I need $1,000 now. I need $2,000 now. I need $5,000 now. I send Fast Track to Executive because it goes through all of these rank advancement bonuses. So it goes through from you hitting consultant, hitting crystal manager, the 5-cycle bonus, crystal director, crystal executive, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. So when you guys look at this, again, it's on Fast Track to Executive, but if you Google Isagenix rank advancement bonus, that's the second sheet. So I told you the first one is Isagenix PIBs. The second one is Isagenix rank advancement bonuses. And the third one would be the Map to Crystal Executive. When you get that sheet out, it walks you through all of these, all of the details about how you have to be, manager the week before if you're going to hit a bonus, or, director, you have to be that the week before to hit a bonus. All of the details are in there, but this shows the upfront bonuses, you guys. And I remember looking at this and going, oh my gosh, never ever in my life has money like this come around in my life, that I'm not missing it. A lot of you guys know my story, and I was totally between a rock and a hard spot, that no one ever offered me $5,000 in a matter of weeks or months before. I was like, how many shifts do I have to work at the restaurant? Like, how many clients would I have to see that I saw it? And when you guys are serious about this, you're committed to this, You've got to know your dates and put them on the calendar and build your business like your life depends on it. So one of the leaders on the 3-star and above monthly call, who's crushing it now, was just talking about how when you're in college, that if you've got 6 months to do a term paper, when do most people do it? Right? Like right in the chat for me right now. If someone has 6 months to write a paper, a term paper, I want to see your answers in the chat. When do most people get it done? Month 5, the week it's due, last week, right? Last day. Okay, so you guys are absolutely right. You guys are absolutely right. And most people, and statistically corporate would show this, that the ones that go executive, they do it right out of the gates or right before the deadline. People do well under pressure. So if you're someone who's waiting for the deadline, fine, but know your deadline. You've got to mark it on your calendar. You've got to mark it on your phone, on your map to Crystal Executive. Like if someone got enrolled in July, August, September, October, November, December, January, right? They've got to know January 8th, Crystal Executive, like everywhere on their bathroom mirror, in their medicine cabinet, on their computer. Every time they open it up, I am a Crystal Executive on January 8th. So even if you don't get into a gear until after New Year's, you know when your date is. Or if you're someone who has the burning desire and wants to change the trajectory of their life, like I did, you create your own date, right? So Jenny was like, let's do it in a month. So my Crystal Manager date wasn't 60 days, you guys. Like I gave myself like a couple days. You know, director was in a couple weeks. Executive was, and I built my business like my life depended on it. I built it like those dates, like it was never happening again. So when you can start to understand these bonuses, and these are only one-time bonuses and they are time sensitive, you're not going to want to miss them. So going consultant, when you find your first 2 people, that doesn't have a time sensitivity to it. You can do that whenever. So whenever you find 2 people, you're going to get that bonus. Manager, whenever you've created 2 consultants, when 2 of your personally enrolled has 2 of their referrals, you will get the rank of manager. You will achieve that. But in order for it to have Crystal, where you get the bonus, you have 60 days. And that, even though it says $250, you guys, that's like almost $450 because you get the $100 for each new consultant. So even though the leadership bonus is $250, because you're getting those consultant bonuses along the way, it's $450. So ask yourself right now, how hard do you have to work? What job do you have to do, and for how many hours to earn $450, right? Like for a lot of people, that's a week's worth of work. I mean, at least, you know, and start to kind of see what that is, and you'll go fast with this. So the 5-cycle bonus, that's now into the residual, but Isagenix basically said people need to be motivated between manager and director. That's a big gap of creating 2 consultants to 6 consultants. And so the first time you hit 5 cycles, you not only get the cycles, so 5 times 54, which is basically $260, you get an additional bonus. And that $500 is split between 2 times. So the first time you do it and the second time, so you get $250, and the next time you do it, you would get $250. That's an extra bonus. They're incentivizing you along the way. And just know that that's not only available for you, but then it's available for your team. Like be talking to them about people, or talking about this to your team. If you look and someone's at 3 cycles in the middle of the week and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the week to reach out to a few more friends. I mean, not only are you going to make $260 in cycles, you're going to get an additional $250. This is like a $600 week. Like, who do you know, right? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? And get into that. And it keeps people motivated. People make that money and they're like, that wasn't even that hard. Like, I love what I do. I love helping people. They're going to stay excited. So Crystal Director, you guys, that's 120 days from your associate date. That's when 6 of your personally enrolled all have 2. So Katie has 2, Kira has 2, Ashley has 2, Rachel has 2, Jen has 2, Laura has 2, right? That's a $750 bonus. But again, it's $100 for each new consultant. So if you had 2 before and now you have 6, we made 4 new consultants from manager to director. That's an additional $400. So Crystal Director, not including cycles, not including PIBs as you're enrolling along the way, is $1,150. Like, what the heck? Like, that's crazy talk, you guys. I mean, that is what people make in 2 weeks of their pay. And this is just a bonus. This is just to incentivize people to get their business off the gates, to get them into momentum, to get them having fun while they're building a business. Then Crystal Executive. This is what you guys need to do to get to Arizona for my retreat. You have 3 weeks left. But the executive is when you have personally enrolled 10 people that all have their 2 active at the same time. The distinguishment here is 5 need to be on the left, 5 need to be on the right. For director, all 6 can be on one side. It can be 5 and 1, 4 and 2, 3 and 3. It doesn't matter where your consultants are. Same with manager, 2 on each side, 1 on each side. For executive, it's 5 and 5. So just as you're enrolling people and placing people, keep that in mind. But that means Gita has her 2, right? Holly has her 2. Chris has her 2. Katie has her 2. Danielle has her 2. Rachel has her 2. Kisa has her 2. Laura has her 2. That type of thing. That's what executive is. Not only do you get $1,000 bonus, but again, the $100 for each new consultant. They do that for your first 20 consultants. So if we had 6 consultants at director, and now we have 10 to executive, that was 4 more consultants. That's actually a $1,400 bonus. So just going through the ranks, you guys, just going through leadership, which is enrolling and rank advancing, right? Creating consultants, right here alone, there's thousands of dollars. Then the 1-star bonus, that's $1,000, it says $750, that's $1,000 bonus that you get when you hit 1-star. 2-star is $2,000, 3-star is $3,000. Looking at those and saying, oh my gosh, like where is this gonna happen? The cycles are gonna come. But when I ask people when they wanna know about the compensation plan, Kristen, I'm asking them, do you need short-term money or long-term money? Are you needing something right now? Because there are people, you guys, that have burning desire. They just got laid off. Something just happened. They needed money yesterday. These rank advancement bonuses could literally change someone's entire situation. If they're like, no, I love my job. I'm just going to do this in the pockets of my time. I want to build my kids' college fund or this and that. We're looking at the long-term compensation plan, the residual and the cycles. I'm trying to change the slide. So here's the Map to Crystal Executive. So I referenced 3 documents. You guys should all Google and print it out if you're not using the IsoLife Success Manual. The first one was the PIBS, Isogenics PIB document. The second one was the rank advancement. And this is the third one, your Map to Crystal Executive. So this right here, as you're enrolling people, you should be filling this out. Like when I got started, Janie said, print this out 3 levels deep, because I need to know. I enrolled Katie, you know, her husband was over here. She was 1 away from being a consultant. Chris had enrolled Holly and Gita. He was a consultant. You know, Rachel had enrolled Kisa and Laura. She was a consultant. Mary Beth over here, you know, was loving the product. She hadn't enrolled anybody. Sam hadn't enrolled anybody. You know, Derek had enrolled 1 person. Like whatever that looks like, you're constantly looking at it, because this is how you know where you're headed. If you don't have this vision, if you don't know what you're working with, you're not going to hit executive. People just don't have this in their head. And when I know the people on our team that have gone executive, Kisa Maxwell, Melanie Quinlan, Kristen Burgess, Laura Laurie, Jen Feiter, they had this printed out. They knew who was active on the left, who was active on the right, who they were sharing with, and their date was across the top. So, you know, someone like Kira on my team right now, she's enrolled 3 people. She knows who's on the left, who's on the right, who needs to start sharing. She's got her date. You know, she's laser focused on what she has to do and when she has to get there. This is your absolute, you know, roadmap in the very beginning of building your business. And once you get executive, you just keep doing it again and again and again and again, right? Because we never stop. The you share, they share, you share, they share. We never, ever stop. I'm going to just check up with the chat here for just a second and make sure I'm not missing anything. So someone had asked me the question, the bonus is a one-time or monthly? That's one time. So the first time you go director, the first time you go executive, the 5 cycle, the 1-star, the 2-star, and the 3-star, they pay out twice. So that 1-star, which is $1,000, you get $500 the first time, and the second time you hit 1-star, which is 10 cycles, you get the other $500. For 2-star, which is $2,000, the first time you hit 20 cycles, you'll get $1,000. The second time you do it, so some of those cash bonuses pay out twice, the first and second time you hit it, but the leadership, which is manager, director, executive, if you're doing it in the time frame where you have the crystal part attached to it, that only pays out the one time you hit it. So the first time you hit director, the first time you hit executive. I think I got all the questions. I just want to make sure. Okay, so tonight I told you that I was going to talk about the you share, they share, and part of your homework is to learn this compensation plan, you guys. I did a challenge earlier in the 90-day game plan on our regular Dreamers in Action page, and had said anybody who did the video, they got a prize. And every single person that did it did get a gift from me. But it was actually really eye-opening to realize how many people were not comfortable doing it and didn't really understand it. And so I challenge you guys, not because I want to check your homework and not because I want you to do this for me, but because I want to see your businesses grow. I want you to so comfortably be able to do this. I want you guys to practice this week. Practice with your kids, your spouses, your friends, your neighbors. Call people that you would really like in your business, but you're too nervous right now to talk to them about Isagenix, and be transparent and just say, I was, challenged to teach to a couple people and just make sure I'm not cheating. I'm not getting hung up on it. Can I just practice? You're a good friend of mine. I trust your feedback. I'd much rather practice on a friend than practice on a client. Do it. Get really, really comfortable with it. And if you're someone on this call that I know knows how to do this, like Jen and Adam, like Laura, like Rachel, like they're experts, they can teach this, then I would work really, really closely with 2 to 3 people in your team this week, getting them to send the video, getting them to feel comfortable doing this, helping them figure out where they get stuck. You guys all have new customers, and just work closely with them, is making sure anybody can do this is so, so, so important. Okay. The second, we talk about the PIBs and we, talk about those one-time referral rebates, that's short-term money. But just imagine right now, someone on your team who'd been using the products forever, and they said, okay, so I got a flat tire and I have all-wheel drive, so they're making me replace all 4 tires, which I didn't have budgeted, and I see all of your Facebook posts, and I need $1,100 to buy new tires. Like, can I do that? How quickly could you show them how to do that? So if we were to think map to Crystal Executive, the reality that they're going to hit Crystal Director, right? That 750 plus the 100 for new consultants, that 1150, that's unrealistic. That's not the way I'm going to help that person get money for their tires. What's more realistic is double PIBs, maybe hitting the 5-cycle bonus, right? Getting some double PIBs and selling high BV systems, right? Like getting people to be enrolling with the value pack. That's how we're going to get that person to make that cash like that. And so understanding that and where to show people how to do that is so, so, so important. So understanding the PIBs, understanding the you share, they share, and those rank advancement bonuses. If you guys don't know, I will tell you Isagenix is making this easier and easier. But when I first got started, we had to literally count, right? Because all months aren't exactly 30 or 31 days. So if Laura got enrolled on October 16th, right, and she had 60 days to hit Crystal Manager, I'm like counting, right? And we're always like, is it the day it ends? Is it the next day? Like we were always calling customer service, trying to figure out like, was day 60 this day or that day type thing. In your back office, you guys, if you're an associate, not a preferred customer, but if you're an associate, you put in your social and date of birth, it shows you right there what your, Crystal Manager bonus is, what your director bonus is, what your executive bonus is. For those of you that have already passed them, your team knows where they are, right? You can find out from your team. So ask them, hey, how close are you to Crystal Manager? Like that was that $900 that I showed you a couple weeks ago. Like, I think we can do this. Like you're having great results. People are asking about what you're doing. Like hold people accountable, get them to write it out. If you have someone that raises their hand and says, hey, I want to build this business, I want to get my products paid for, the very first thing they need to do is have a map to Crystal Executive and their dates at all 3 levels. I mean, I don't even bother with the manager and director page. I get straight to the executive that has the 10 consultants on it. And at the manager line, with the first 2 consultants, put a date, right? Your director, the 6 consultants, put a date. Executive, the 10 consultants, put a date. And then everywhere they go, every time they pull out their list, every time they look at their business, they've got to just look at it and be so solid. And think about that paper, you guys. Think about the term paper, what people are going to do. But if they don't even know there's a deadline, guess what they're never going to do? So just opening up this with people. And so I'm going to leave with one final thought, and then I want to feel free to, answer your questions. But one of the things a lot of times with business builders are like, okay, so they've shared with a couple people, but they're not really doing this. I've showed them how to get their products paid for, this and that, is you've really got to vision cast with people. You've really got to dream big. And that's where using the new associate interview is so helpful. So when I first enrolled Katie and I said, hey, like in a couple weeks when you're this walking billboard, do you want to send referrals to me, or do you want to make some extra income? And she kind of was like, oh yeah, maybe I'd like to make some extra income. Like I, just had surgery and I'm going to leave of absence for my job. That would probably kind of help me right now. I'm like, okay, cool. We hit the tip of the iceberg. But a week or two later, when I go to the new associate interview and I'm asking her, how much money is going to make it worth your time? What are the things you're saying no to that you want to say yes to? If you could go on a vacation right now, where would you go? Who would you take? How long would you go for? Right? What is something that keeps you up at night financially? Get into those questions and you say, so what if there was a way that you could go to Iceland and you could take your husband and you could, whatever that picture looks like for people. If you said, what if there was a way that you could pay off $40,000 in credit card debt? What if there was a way and you're not being taken away from your kids in the process, right? That you're going to impact lives as a result of doing that. Like, what if there was a way? And that big picture vision cast is what keeps people, you guys, because they're not chasing $100. They're not chasing $200. They're chasing a vision for their life. And that's the number one thing people always say. What did Janny say to you that was different than every other network marketer that prospected me? She said, what are the things you want to be doing? If you didn't do this, how else will you get there? And she cast a vision for my life. I remember her saying, if nothing changed, if what you're doing right now, if nothing changed in 5 years from right now, how would your life look any different? And I couldn't answer it. I couldn't. I said, I'll be in the exact same situation. I'll be exchanging time for money with the most upset debt to income ratio people had ever seen, right? She said, okay, I think you need to try this. I think you need to do this and you need to be all in. She didn't promise me $20,000 in a month. I was lucky and I got into the leadership pools and I worked really hard and was grateful and those things happen. But she said, you know what? In 4 to 6 years, the time is going to pass anyways. So be all in. Be all in because you're doing that with all these other jobs and it's not getting you to where you want to be. And having those types of conversations, you guys, you're going to get people to move. You're going to get them to overcome the fear because the fear of staying stuck, the fear of them staying in an unhappy place is greater than taking the chance, of taking the risk of things getting better. And just remember, they're already in that situation. They already know what it's like to be buried in debt. They already know what it's like to be, working for someone they don't like. They already know what it's like to have capped income. So what's the worst that can happen? It can only get better. And if you think about people that aren't even in it for the money, go back to the transformation. Talk about how fulfilled you are. Talk about how wonderful it is when you have impacted someone's lives, when they have messaged you because they got paid, when they've messaged you because they got their health back. Like, that's so awesome for you to be able to share with people and talk about that. Talk about if their job, if they leave happy, if they leave like they're creating a legacy, if they leave like there's something they can hand off to their kids. Do you guys know you can will your business? It doesn't have to be your kids. It can be to anybody. You can will your business. Like, we are creating a legacy company. Talk about that with people. So, that's kind of what I got for you guys tonight. It's so important that you understand the short-term and the long-term income, knowing what you send. Like, a lot of times people say, oh, I talked to so-and-so. What do I send them on the business? I'm like, well, what do they want? Are they paying for tires in 3 weeks or do they need their wedding fund in 5 years? Like, figure out what it is they want and work with them. And the other is I just invite you to use your team. If you're like, okay, I'm not comfortable casting the vision, I'm not comfortable talking about that with people, get someone else on the phone. Like, Janny used to always have me share my story, or I would get her to talk to people. Like, I remember I was like, Rachel, you got to talk to this girl, and Rachel's like, I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, I'm not selling this. And Janny just had this way of casting this vision, getting her so excited in a way that I couldn't do it. She was my sister. She was my big sister. She had her whole life together, but somebody else could. So if you find yourself that you're getting stuck, we can talk to someone that we are not emotionally connected to so much better than any of our own. And it's funny this is coming up because on Mastermind, I just told Rachel, she's like the strongest person on our team if she's talking to anybody but her own people. As soon as it's her own people, I'm like, who are you? Like, what just happened? And it's because there's an emotional connection to those people. But she could overcome any objection, cast the vision, get anyone fired up to any event for any of your guys' people, right? But that happens to a lot of us. We care about these people. We're worried what they're going to think about us. It's natural. So lean on her to help you, and she can lean on you to help her, and vice versa. And so before it's like, I don't know how to cast the vision, I could tell you, listen to Tanner Kirkpatrick's call on it. Listen to so-and-so call on it, but I would say just do it. Get someone on the phone. And I wish Melanie was on the call right now, but she does these, what she calls pump me up calls. But they've always excited me since the very beginning. But she basically gets people on the phone with me because she was never comfortable with the vision and saying, okay, she's amazing. She's getting her products paid for, but, just tell her a little bit about this. Like, I know you do it better. And I just think she would be great at it. And she would edify that person and turn it over to me. And I could get to those pain points, or I could talk about the money, or I could really kind of drive them forward. And there was a huge growth in her team because she relinquished that. Like, she had to do it all on her own, and she leveraged someone that was good at it and loved to do it, right? the same way, like, cleanse coaching can irritate all of us, you guys. I mean, every time I'm bloated, I have a headache, I was hungry. It's like, that's part of the process. Some people are uncomfortable vision casting. Lock arms with someone who's really good at it and has a lot of fun with it, because we have to show people the money. People only know what they don't know. And if we play small with them, they're going to play small in your business, and I always say, like, I would much rather someone tell me, no, thank you, I don't need that, than them find out on their own and be like, so how come you never told me about those bonuses? I missed all those bonuses and I had no idea they were available, right? Like, we have an obligation to show people the money, and people are motivated by compensation. I don't care who you are. If you're broke or you're a millionaire, we got to get people paid, and we got to show people how to get people paid. Any questions? You guys can unmute or you can use the chat, but I'm happy to stay on. Okay, but now I'm going to go. You guys are awesome. If you're in Colorado, come to Super Saturday. Lisa DeMeo is amazing.